Hello everyone, it's John from Brisbane, and as usual it's a high-end, yes, notice my high-tech bit of technology here as I move everything around. Yes, anyway, hello, as I said again, it's John from Brisbane, and what am I talking about today? Yes, my delving into a little project I'm working on with For Against Darkness, and I'm fiddling around with the fact that, okay, I really, I suppose I'll say it again, really like For Against Darkness. And I like the fact that for me it is a perfect game engine, and it reminds me very much of Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition, which had like its open license agreement, which allowed so many companies to be able to produce stuff. And I think that if Ganesha Games could fine-tune its game for Against Darkness and package it as a game engine, I think that would probably be something really good. And of course now my phone is now going to have a beep in it. Sorry people. Anyway, so that's just an aside, but I think that certainly you've got a real good winner in my opinion with For Against Darkness. But what have I been doing? In 1975, for me, a role-play game came out, and it was called Empire of the Petal Throne. Now, Australia is regrettably the arse end of the world when it comes to getting anything from anywhere else in the world, and I got this in 1978. And it was, for me, a game changer. It and RuneQuest were the two most influential game systems at the beginning of time for role-playing for me. Certainly Dungeons and Dragons, certainly was probably the most popular role-play system that was out there, but for universes or for creative themed play, RuneQuest and Empire of the Petal Throne were by far the better thematic worlds that had been created. And for me, Empire of the Petal Throne was the best. So consequently, because I can't find anybody who likes to play Empire of the Petal Throne, or not in my neck of the woods anyway, because people can't pronounce half the words, or most of the words. All right, let's put it down to all the words, which is sad, but I just find that, pardon me, it's a brilliant world, it really is. And so consequently, I'm taking this wonderful world and I'm basically rewriting it to suit For Against Darkness. So I'm using the For Against Darkness base rules, which is this wonderful document here, and I'm basically reorganizing the whole book. And that means that I'm going through, I've essentially rewriting most of it to suit the way how I'm going to play. Now, what I should point out is that this is for my own personal use. What I'm doing is not for publication, it is not for distribution. I'm doing this purely and solely for my own entertainment. Okay, so please people don't ask me for for copies or whatever. I'm purely doing this for my own entertainment. So, I'm not out here to try and make money. That's not what this is all about. This is just me sharing a project that I'm passionate about. And as I think I've shown a picture of, once I've done this, I'm moving on to my next joy, which is RuneQuest, and going to do Pavis. So, but the interesting thing, of course, with the Empire of the Petal Throne was that there were only, in the original one, and I'm playing purely from the first one, there were only 3 classes. There was the warrior, there was the priest, and there was the magic user. They were the only 3 classes that were available. Thieves, again, unless you know the world of Tekumel, you would not know that there were no such thing as thieves. The world was very structured, very ritualistic. It was a very complex world, so different from the medieval style role-playing worlds that were evident. So it was not Tolkienese in type. So for me, it was very much a challenge, because I had to start to think of, well, okay, so how am I going to incorporate a lot of these things that Fought Against Darkness had in it? So, I've had to develop a lot of things. So, for instance, the priests and the magic users both share a common spell list in many cases. And so you'll find that in my particular cases that the priests and the magic users have each got, for instance, a common, they've each got their own spell groups. But then there is, for instance, within the base game of Tekumel, the first one, there was a category of bonus spells. And so everybody then, or the spellcasters, have now got their own category of additional spells that they can then choose from. And these, of course, are also spells that can be obtained through scrolls. So I've included that. As you explore the dungeon, you can actually go down levels now. So if you roll doubles, doubles indicate you have found, you can either take whatever the double is on the chart, or you can actually roll again and you immediately take, because I've made changes, of course, to the dungeon rooms. And a double now is that if you, as I said, if you roll a double, you either take you either take the room that's been displayed, or you change it to a 1/1, which is which in the booklet is the standard booklet is the room 1/2, which is the corridor, which is the 1/3, and that's essentially a set of stairs going down. And that'll take you down to level 2. And in which case, when you go down to level 2, the complexity and the difficulty of the monsters increase a level factor. So, because with the way that I've set this setting with Tekumel, is that I could ramble forever. It's a really, because once again, I've developed the game to meet my needs. So as I play and I progress, it's me enjoying a role-playing game, because I know how Tekumel plays and runs. So as I'm playing, this game will develop and progress the more and more that I play. So obviously the base game that I've already started and given the bones to will progress and change further. So who knows what it might be in a month's time. But at this stage, I've essentially written everything, and it's all done. I'm just going to have to run through some more editing. The only thing, of course, that really stops me is that while I've got the electronic version, I'm very much a print person. I really need things in a printed format. But unfortunately, as a pensioner, for me, having to print things out, and it's like 60 odd pages at the moment. So unless I will, of course, I'll print it down to, you know, the A5 page size, which at least will keep the cost down. But, you know, it's still an expensive exercise. So you can imagine that one draft, you know, I might get maybe 2 drafts from a printer cartridge, and at $23 a printer cartridge here in Australia, it becomes an expensive exercise. So I need to sort of be, you know, mindful again. But anyway, that's what it is. So, you know, I suppose what I need to explain too is that, you know, what I've done is that I've essentially ripped everything from all the sources. So, you know, I've used sources from here, I've used sources from there. I've, of course, pinched bits from most of the For Against Darkness publications that are out there. So I've plagiarized, and like, because once again, what I've done is purely for my own use. So, you know, I'm having fun. And again, the people from For Against Darkness, and, you know, Andrea, again, I apologise if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, or I should say maybe just the people from Ganesha Games. Look, thank you very much for a wonderful game. And, you know, I'm still going to buy every bloody publication you produce for Against Darkness, so fear not. Just because I'm off in the wilderness and enjoying myself producing something that meets my needs, you should not take that as an indication that I'm losing interest in what you're producing. All this is indicating, in many respects, is that you've produced a really, really good product, and that I think you've lit a fire, I think, under a lot of people in the community, with the fact that you've provided a product, I think, that's really, really good. So anyway, this might be the first in a number of little videos that I may produce. My blog will have, I guess, some pictures, maybe eventually a playthrough of how my Tekumel will run. But anyway, so that's it for the moment. So thank you for watching, and until next time, signing off, the Honourable John. And I can't reach.